Hi, welcome back to Teach English with Passion. Hope you are all doing well. Back with a new episode in our series Insights into ALT Theory and Practice. Interested to know more? Keep watching. Today's video centers around the topic of assessment and testing. In this video, we're gonna explore a variety of points, starting with an overview about testing and assessment, speaking also about what makes a good test, in addition to some tips that should be taken into account while designing tests. At the end of the video, and as usual, I'm gonna share with you some samples of tests that serve to give examples, especially for novice teachers, to help them start designing their test. So here we go. Assessment falls within two main categories, formative and summative. As far as a formative assessment is concerned, it is described as an assessment for learning, i.e., the teacher here gathers data and information about learners' current level, their points of strength and their weaknesses in order to decide about the content and the methods to be used in instruction. Summative assessment, however, is seen as an assessment of learning. This means that it is meant to evaluate how successful teaching and learning is, how effective the methods used are, and also to assess the achievement of the predefined learning objectives. Now, let's see together what are the characteristics of a good test. A good test should be first reliable. This means that the test should reflect the real level of learners, i.e., it shouldn't be too easy or too difficult. The questions also in the test shouldn't require random answers. Second, the test should be valid. This means that the test needs to measure what it intends to measure. It should be relevant to the objectives and to the content dealt with over a period of instruction. A good test should be discriminating. This means that the test should reflect and show the differences in level between learners. Questions should be arranged according to their level of difficulty, moving from the least difficult to the most difficult in order to cater for all learners' levels. Number 4, the test should be practical. This implies that while designing the test, the teacher needs to keep in mind that this test goes with a number of criteria like time and also the resources available. As a teacher, while designing your tests, you need to take the following points into consideration. First, test the examinees only on what they have actually learned during a specific period of instruction, i.e., the test should not include any irrelevant content or points students did not really cover or see. Number 2, the reading passage you choose should be of an acceptable length and should go with learner's level. Number 3, arrange the activities according to their level of difficulty, starting from the least difficult to the most difficult. Number 4, make the test time appropriate. It shouldn't be too long and not too short. The last step, set one scoring or grading scale for all learners. How to design a test or an exam. Official tests and exams in our educational system constitute mainly of two parts. Part 1 reading and Part 2 written expression. As shown here in the diagram, the reading part in turn is divided into two parts, A. Comprehension and B. Text exploration. So now let's see together what activities you can design for each part of the test. As far as the comprehension part is concerned, the teacher can set a number of activities, including choosing the general idea of the text, answering multiple choice questions, true-false statements, answering comprehension questions according to the text, identifying the type of discourse, cohesive markers, also putting ideas in the right order as they occur in the text, and choosing or giving a title to the text. Concerning text exploration, the activities should be related to the four following aspects: vocabulary and morphology, grammar, sound system, and discourse. So for vocabulary and morphology, the activities can be about synonyms and opposites, matching words with their definitions, and dividing words into roots and affixes. For grammar, the activities include combining sentences with connectors, supplying or giving the correct form of the verbs, and asking questions. As far as phonology is concerned, the activities include final S and ED pronunciation, silent letters, and syllables and stress. For this course, we can have activities like gap filling and reordering jumbled sentences. The second part is written expression. Many teachers tend to neglect and delete this part in tests due to shortage of time. Personally, I do believe that this part is very important and it should be included within tests. We can simply assign activities that don't require long and time-consuming responses. For example, we can have activities like dialogue completion, writing sentences, or even short paragraphs in which learners are asked to reinvest some notions they have seen in class. Now let's have a look at some samples of tests that you can use as examples while designing your own tests. By the way, you can download these tests using the links in the description box below. So the first test shown here is for second-year high school learners. The topic of the test is related to unit Makepeace. So starting with comprehension and interpretation, the activities we have include true-false statements, answering comprehension questions according to the text, reference words, and choosing the general idea of the text. In text exploration, all the activities shown here are contextualized and they are related to the topic of the text. The activities we have include synonyms, giving the correct form of the verbs, and reordering jumbled sentences. As far as the written expression is concerned, I have suggested here two activities. So you can either ask learners to write slogans about peace and against war and abuse of human rights, or you can ask learners also to write an acrostic poem for a given word that has a relation with the topic of peace. The second sample is a test for first-year high school learners. The test is related to unit number 2, communication on the press. So for comprehension and interpretation, the activities we have include identifying the type of the text, true-false statements, answering comprehension questions according to the text, and reference words. In text exploration, we have a variety of activities. The first activity is related to vocabulary. Learners are asked to find synonyms for the words given in the text. The second activity is a grammar activity dealing with reported speech. The third activity has to do with phonology. Learners are asked to classify a number of words according to their final ED pronunciation. In written expression part, learners are asked to write a dialogue in which they interview a given person about the topic of reading newspapers. That's all for today's topic. Hopefully you find it helpful and useful. If you have any questions, suggestions, or topics you want me to deal with, leave a comment below. If you like the content of the video, subscribe now and share the video with your colleagues. Stay tuned. Have a nice day. Bye.